Good morning and good evening from Canada. It is my indeed great pleasure to give this keynote address for the distinguished and prestigious seminar of the Institution of Engineers on Renewable, Clean Energy and Energy Conservation 2012. The topic I have chosen for my presentation is challenges and opportunities in the midst of conflict between energy security and climate security. Chairperson, as we have witnessed unprecedented natural disasters costing hundreds of thousands of lives and billions of dollars in many parts of the world since the beginning of the 21st century. And according to many scientists, the modern human activities are one of the prime suspects that triggered climate change. The many international summits organized by United Nations could not bridge major differences between developed and developing nations. On the other hand, the energy security is becoming elusive with the dominance of few players in the market. Volatile prices of crude oil since 2008, conflict in the Middle East, and security risks involved in supply chain of fossil fuels, coupled with their adverse impact on environment, have made policymakers, researchers, and industries to seriously consider sustainable alternatives. Transformation to a low carbon economy is facing major hurdles due to conflicting scenarios. Now, this is what we are facing, fellow delegates. One, globalization. Two, consumerism. And three, luxurious lifestyles in the developed nation, and the quest of the developing nations to ape developed nations, which has resulted in unprecedented exploitation of fossilized energy, almost irreversible damage to environment, and widespread emission of greenhouse gases. As we know, the energy consumption of the world is rising at higher rate. And according to the statistics published by the various institutions, it is to be noted that now, since 2008, energy consumption of the developing nations combined together has exceeded the OECD countries' consumption, and the trend is likely to continue. At the same time, the carbon dioxide emissions have reached alarming proportions. Since 2006, CO2 emissions of non-OECD countries have overtaken the OECD countries and are expected to increase exponentially in a business as usual scenario. Now, this has created a major dilemma and conflict. The, the energy security and climate security have been treated as having conflicting and mutually exclusive agendas and goals. And both sides have been blaming each other for now more than a quarter century. And that has created major challenge for all of us. So I'm going to list out some of the key challenges we are facing at present. According to me and with my interactions with the international experts and industry players, the first and foremost challenge in such conflict will be to find a minimum common area of mutual interest. Experts have opined that energy security requires diversification of resources and supply chain to bring such energies to the consumers. Alternative energy resources such as renewables and clean energies, and coupled with the energy conservation, can provide diversification while addressing the concerns of the climate security. This can bring these two together for certain minimum common area of mutual interest. The second challenge will be to agree on acceptable level of such share and the pace of introduction of renewable energy into the energy mix of various nations and regions. Climate security demands rapid and higher share of clean energy into energy mix, which will, as of today, have considerable impact on energy cost and resource constraint. On the other hand, proponents of energy security expect gradual and systematic infusion of clean energies. In such scenario, though the dominance of fossil fuels is expected to continue in an energy mix, unless there is a breakthrough in renewable and clean energy technologies. The third challenge, according to me, is the political will to remove subsidy of fossilized energy sector while providing subsidy to the development of clean energies. And we know that whenever governments have tried to reduce subsidies on fossil energies, most of the time they had to take a U-turn or abandon it due to violent protest and demonstrations and opposition. Finding an appropriate balance will continue to haunt policymakers. The fourth challenge is a technological inadequacy as of now. Reason being the providing uninterrupted, highly reliable and affordable supply of energy using some of the clean energy technologies so far have been elusive. Developing technological standards and protocols that can integrate renewable and clean energies seamlessly are still in the stage of infancy. The fifth and final challenge I have identified is taxing carbon in one form or other. Fossil energy producing industries have vehemently opposed and lobbied against such taxes. Clean energy development mechanism in the form of tradable certificates have been in the market for more than a decade now. However, impact of such measures are yet to be trickled down to the customers. These are the major challenges I have identified. Now, question arises, are there opportunities in such conflicting scenario? There are many possibilities, and I have identified few for discussion of the distinguished members at this seminar. The first opportunity what we have found is there is now greater awareness and appreciation of harmful effects of use of fossil energies, especially among consumers. Now, such awareness is compelling stakeholders to review processes, practices, and legislation for production, transportation, and distribution of fossil energies as well as new and clean energies. There is a greater scope for providing now more incentives to promote use of renewable and clean energies, thus transferring the ownership of generation capacities to the consumers. Now, these consumers can become partners in market development. Also, revenue collected from the clean development mechanism, carbon credits and carbon taxes, if any, could be and should be channeled in the form of more incentives for development of new and renewable energy resources. It is also an opportune moment for higher investment in research and development of new technologies that can provide uninterrupted, highly reliable, and cost-effective renewable and clean energy resources and solutions. Public-private partnership will be very crucial for finding innovative solutions for these evading problems. Another opportunity what I can see is now institutes, colleges, and universities can design, develop, and deliver educational, training, and retraining programs and courses, not only for building capacities, but also for nurturing talents for current and the future requirements of new and renewable energy industries. Last but not least, It can promote and enhance entrepreneurship culture that can spearhead medium and small scale industries in new and clean energy sector and climate security provisions. It can also provide new and renewable employment opportunity. So there could be win-win solution possible, provided we are willing to understand the challenges and take actions for opportunities all of us can see. So after identifying the challenges and opportunities, let me give my general observations and conclusion. Now it is well known that government worldwide have either adopted or in the process of adopting various policy initiatives such as strengthening taxation codes, environmental protection acts, and electricity acts to promote and encourage renewable and clean energies and reduce dependence on conventional energies. They can also provide energy efficiency and energy conservation initiatives. Encouraging developments have happened in the form of public-private partnership with the support from the government policies. Now we do understand that conflict between energy security and climate security has its own challenges as well as opportunities. Modern technologies provide tremendous scope to overcome challenges and realize opportunities in the midst of the conflict between energy security and climate security. It is highly recommended to perform energy audits and implement energy efficiency and energy conservation program. One, to minimize waste and bring down the demand to an acceptable level. And then use the integrated approach to various forms of renewable and clean energies, along with research in smart grid, storage devices, and smart metering, which can eventually provide uninterrupted, reliable, and viable cost-effective alternatives. It is envisaged that over medium to long term, share of renewable and clean energies will rise. Some studies project by 2030 maybe around 25% of the energy consumption may be coming from the renewable energy or clean energies. So that raises another interesting question. Would it be possible in near future to make renewable and clean energy as a primary source of energy, while fossil energy with a strict environment protection features provide emergency support? Well, if that happens, then there is a scope for hope to resolve the conflict between energy security and climate security. Till that time, we should continue our efforts in that direction. This All India seminar on renewable, clean energy and energy conservation is a step in right direction. And I congratulate the organizing committee of the Institution of Engineers India Nagpur chapter for their leadership and hard work. I wish the seminar all the success. I would like to thank organizing committee for giving me opportunity to share some of my views and thoughts. I'm sure many of the distinguished authors will share their findings, which will be beneficial for the renewable and clean energy sector. Once again, thank you everyone for your kind attention and support. With best wishes, Deepak Waikar.